Welcome students. I hope you all are learning well through all these videos. Today we are going to do your third poem from the book Flamingo Poetry 3 Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda, who was the pen name and later legal name of the Chilean poet, diplomat, and politician Neftali Ricardo Reis Basoleta, born on July 12, 1904 and died on September 23, 1973. He derived his pen name from the Czech poet Jan Neruda. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. Neruda became known as a poet when he was just 10 years old. He wrote in a variety of styles, including Shirley's poems, historical epics, erotically charged love poems, such as the ones in his collection 20 Love Poems and a Song of Despair. Let's start with a brief outlook of the poem. In this poem, the poet visualizes a state of comfortable inertia where he wishes for pleasant idleness and relaxation away from the frantic rat race, destructive activities, and futile wars. He wishes for a profound silence and stillness that would alleviate the sadness caused by lack of self-understanding and the threat of self-destruction, and which would build up a sense of togetherness. So listen the poem first. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. The poet begins with counting 12, urging everyone to be still. He chose 12 for several reasons. 12 hints at the 12 hours of a day, which rules our life. 12 here also means the zodiac signs believed to be the controlling forces of our lives. 12 also refers here 12 months of a year. 12 even may be aimed for a preparation for all of us to be ready to plunge into the state of silence. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. The poet here urges everyone to break the barriers of language and unite with one invisible tune, that is silence. With the word earth, the poet hints at all the human living, devoid the identity of country, creed, and caste. He told language is the identity of a country or race. He told that humans are more important and the identity of being a human of earth is a broader realization. Let's stop for 1 second. The poet urges us to stop for 1 second. Here, second presents the tiniest part of time calculation and not move our arms so much. He told us to keep ourselves off. He told us to keep silence for 1 second, for at least 1 second from the negative aspects. Arms here is the dual meaning. He indicates arms as our hands engaged in several activities, doing everything we used to do, everything with our hands. So he told us to stop working and at the same time refers to the weapons we use for destruction. The next stanza, it would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. He told we are always on move. We are always busy in accomplishing our tasks, our works, go on rushing in our lives. The poet even urged us to stop engines. Engines here refers the industrial works causing harms to the environment. The poet urges us to stop our personal activities and stop engines and unite in one tune, that is silence. The poet declares silence as exotic because this silence will make us blissful, strange, and will bring complete equilibrium. The next stanza starts: Fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. He told, if we all be still, we will not move for 1 second, we shall be able to introspect. Introspect here means the self-analyzing, the mistakes and wrongs we have done. Here fishermen are the representatives of all kinds of tyrants and killers. The poet wants us to stop our work and realize our mistake. Here poet told us through fishermen that they should stop their work and realize their mistakes. The salt gatherer is explained as the representative of poor and lower section of the society. They go up to any level to earn their livelihood and often hurt themselves while they are collecting salt from the sea. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. The poet here condemns the people with green wars. Green wars here means biological weapon or creators of pollution, and wars with fire. Here, atomic war. They became victorious but with no survivors left. We all know when there is a war, destruction happens. The poet mocks at the victory of those people who get victory over destruction. The poet asks them to leave the path of destruction and join the group of silence. He urges them to put on white, white which symbolizes the purity, and walk with others doing nothing. It means here that anything negative and doing, leave everything and doing self introspection. Introspection, as I told you, self analyzes that what we are doing with ourselves, with our brothers and the whole world. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. The poet here warns us that his message of silence should not be confused with total inactivity or inertia. He further clears that his message does not have any affinity with death even. His message is aimed at the way of living. He wants us to stop for a while and feel the positive introspection which can be done only when we will be silent for a second. If we were not so single-minded and about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. He told we human beings are single-minded. We are always busy in achieving our goals, completing our responsibilities, and so on. And we never stop for a while to evaluate ourselves and understand ourselves also. We never understand that we shall never be able to come out of these desires and achievements. If we could stop a while from these using, we would have understood the real purpose of our lives and ourselves also. We go on with the fear of death calculation, how much of our dreams and wishes we have achieved or we have to achieve. In the last two lines, he says, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. In conclusion, the poet taught us through the example of earth, which at one season may look as if dead, but comes back with life in another season. Likewise, our life will also bear certain meaning when we walk on the right path, that is, introspecting in silence, self-analysis in silence. In the last two lines, the poet leaves us to introspect as if he himself has gone through the same. He told us that he will count up to 12 now, and you all will have to be silent for a second and will realize, and we have to do this introspecting in silence. We have to introspect ourselves. We have to find out ourselves. We have to we realize what we are doing and what we have to do. It only happens when he will count up to 12 and we will be quiet and introspect ourselves. So now question arises, what is the message of this poem? Through this poem, the poet told us that we should be quiet and silent for some time and introspect. By doing this, we will have more time for understanding each other and we will realize how our activities are damaging this earth. Hope you all have understood this poem. Thank you.